Alright. Yo. I'm sorry I am late. My phone was running out of batteries. That's my excuse. Alright. I think I'll just wait for a few people to show up. If you're watching on YouTube, just forward it a few minutes past. Give it 5 minutes. And we'll see what happens. But, alright. See if anyone shows up. Again, just give it 5 minutes and we'll get started. Hey, what's up? Glad you can make it. Hello, glad you joined. What up? Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. We'll just be talking about a few things. Got my Bitcoin Bill hat on. I'm ready to go. Let me know if it's hard to hear or anything, but I think I'm good to go here. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on? I have my screen set to low brightness because my battery's so destroyed. Another thing to buy once I get more money. Once I feel comfortable to start just shedding cash. Yo, welcome guys. So yeah, I'm probably gonna give it just another couple more minutes. And sorry I'm late this afternoon, but glad y'all are here. This is good. This is a good Friday. It's not the Good Friday, but every Friday is good in my book. Whether you're slacking off like me or whether you're working hard. I used to work hard. Don't think I didn't work hard. I used to work hard as fuck. I'm Asian. I know what working hard is. No, I don't work at all. I don't work. I don't do shit, as I like to say to people. Man, that pump should be coming. We've been saying that for a couple weeks, but it is. You just don't know. But ooh, there's a lot of trucks. Oh, interesting. Huh. Yeah, we've been saying that the pump is coming for a while, but Bitcoin Bill put an ultimatum. He's like, it's going to happen next week, no later than next week. So that is the dealio. Are you guys invested? Are you dangerously into Bitcoin? Are you being foolish like myself and just putting everything into Bitcoin? Who's at work? You guys at work? You slacking off? Am I in your earbuds while you're chunking away at a spreadsheet? What's going on? Yes, it is a good Friday. Hey, Bitcoin's at 58. That's not too bad, so I'll take that any day. Ethereum is coming down the pipe. Pretty sure we're going to start hitting up some altcoins. That's kind of the deal. Alright, one more minute. Oh, nice. Dude. Bartoli, I like it, brother. Ah, that ETH can move sideways for a while? Yeah. That's good, because I want Bitcoin dominance to rise that way, because I'm going to probably buy altcoins with Bitcoin, so alright, let me turn my brightness up just a little bit here. Sweet. So, dudes, alright, man, well, hey, I'm just going to get started. This is just going to be a short, this is not too annoying, like a short little talk. Basically, I was talking to one of my followers. He's a young kid, Owen. What's up, Owen, if you're watching? And he was just asking me about following my gut and kind of the broader question of how do you go about your life? How do you go about making decisions in your life? And I think we all know the traditional view. You know, you take the highest percentage road you take the set path, the one that's laid out for you, the high school into college, into career, into more career, into more career, into a house. You know, we all know this path pretty well. And hey, you know what? It's popular because it works. For a lot of people, it works. And but you know, sometimes you just crash and burn with it. And so I want to throw another thing. I want to add another view into the mix, which y'all probably pretty familiar with. But all right, let me tell you a story. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a fucking story. This is the story of how I got into Bitcoin. And I love this story because my sister just gave me another piece to this story. The way this all started, let's go back, all right? Let's go fucking back in time to a whole year ago where we were in the throes of COVID. Everyone was freaking out. The markets crashed in March, April. And something just lit a fire under my ass. I've been dreading my job for a while at that point. And I started to invest heavily in stock picking. Something that I never thought I would do, but I was like, this is a disruption time. And unbeknownst to me, at this time, my sister went on a Hinge date. You know Hinge, this dating app Hinge? My sister went on a Hinge date. And at this Hinge date, the date didn't go that well. She didn't like this guy. She learned about a concert. All right? She has this theory on dating where it's like, look, you just go out, you meet who you meet, you try to fall in love with dating, you try to fall in love with yourself. So she went on this Hinge date. It didn't go so well, but she learned about this concert. This concert at the time, it was kind of not illegal, but it skirted the legalities because, again, this is in the throes of fucking COVID. This concert was to take place in June, I believe. June in the Hamptons, because my sister has it like that. She chills in the Hamptons. She had fled to the Hamptons for COVID. And I was still I was in a dark place. Like, my body wasn't doing so well with the Crohn's. And so basically, so she invited me to this concert. She's like, Steve, come on, you have to go. My sister and I weren't on the best terms at that time. I was kind of mad at her or whatever. But I was like, all right, she really begged me to go. She's like, you really need to come. Like, I'll buy the fucking bracelet. It was super expensive. Like, I'll buy the bracelet. Come on down. So I drive down there. Again, my body's kind of acting up, but I'm make the trip, and we go there, we get in a fight, whatever. But we go to this concert, we get like all hopped up, like on drugs and shit, and we end up in this concert, and it was a fucking great time. I mean, the concert itself was probably kind of lame, but it was COVID. It was our first concert in like a fucking year, so we had a great time. We bonded. We had like a family like love moment where it's like, oh my god, you're my sister, I love you, you're my brother, and I was like, man, like, we need to be together. Like, my family was in New York at the time, or is in New York. I was in Boston, and I was like, shit, man, we need to get together. Like, I need to be closer to family. And so we're kind of in this euphoria. We're in this kind of spaced out cosmic state because I dropped some acid, whatever. And I decided at that moment, I'm going to move to New York. And so because my job was fully remote, I could move to New York, and basically, because of COVID, because of all these different factors, because of this Hinge date, because of the drugs, we get together, boom, I moved to New York. This happens on September. Like, I decided in fucking, like, late July, and then it happens, like, I get the moving truck, I uproot my life, I make that trek to New York. So September 1, I move in, and it's a perfect place, like, down the street from where my sister lives. So, like, we're really close. And as you know, like some of you know, we got in a fight recently, so I haven't seen her. But we're starting to talk again. Anyways. Basically, again, in the throes of COVID, it's dark. There's nothing going on in New York. Everything's shut down. It's almost like a ghost town. But nonetheless, I fucking fall in love with New York. I love New York. And I'm hanging out with my sister like 24/7. Like, my mom, my sister in here, I'm just hanging out with them like a lot, fucking like too much. Because, like, family is fun, but it's not like fun. I don't know what you guys like with your family, but like, I have fun, but it's not really fun. There's so much baggage and like there's so much history there. I love my family, but so I'm like, I gotta get the fuck away from my family. And so what do you do when you don't know anyone and you don't know how to meet people? You go to Meetup. Meetup.com, the place for people who suck at meeting people, essentially. Or if, like, you're new somewhere and you like, Meetup is a place. If you're a loser, you go to Meetup. And basically, I was a loser, and hell, I'm still getting my foundation here. But anyway, so I go to this Meetup thing, and I'm like, oh, hey, where can I meet cool guys? Obviously, at a singles event. You know what I mean? You don't go to singles events to meet women. Like, yeah, it's rare to find a normal chick at a singles event, because like they just light it up on Tinder, and that's what they do. So anyways, I show up at the singles event, and it's fucking terrible. Like, it's just, there's just all these beat up looking people, and like I sit at this table, and you know what, the conversation was horrible, but I enjoyed it because they were the first humans I was speaking to besides my family in the last like 3 months. It was like I was desperate for any kind of interaction. So I'm just like, oh great, you like chopping potatoes at home? Like, whatever, I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm just like, hey, I'm just soaking it in, and I noticed that at the other table it's a bit more lively, and I'm like, shit, like, oh, what's up, Keith? So at the other table it's a bit more lively, and so I look over there, and I'm like, shit, let me just ditch this table and go to this other table. And I sit down, and there's this kid in a fucking loud floral shirt, and he's just talking all kinds of bullshit, and I'm just like, alright, this is where I need to be. And lo and behold, this is Bitcoin Bill. So we're chatting it up, we're just bullshitting, because I feel like I swear we're the only two people in there that have any personality. Like, I fucking swear to God. Because we were just bullshitting the entire, I didn't even know his name for like a good 30 minutes. And he's like, another bottle of wine. And he's like, the markets are up today, and he's just like splashing the table, and we're laughing, we're having a great time. And at some point, he takes me aside, or we're just, for some reason, it's just us two, we're chilling, and he's like showing me his digital wallets. He's going through his phone, he's like, check it out, like, boom, boom. He's like, oh, I just made it's like plus 500,000, plus 600,000, plus 200. Like, dude, I'm just looking at this going like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's weird that he's showing it all to me too, because I'm like, normally that'd kind of be a turnoff, like, oh, he's just bragging, but some other way he's doing it, like, he's just like pumped. He's like, check this shit out, like. And that's when he tells me the story of, hey, I want you to know, I came back from the future. Okay, this is maybe the worst the worst Bitcoin pitch you've ever heard. I came back from the future to let you know that Bitcoin is going to hit $300,000 in October of 2021. I'm telling you, man, I was at a low point in my life. My morale was very low. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for work because I knew that I didn't want to work. Well, I guess I wasn't sure what I was going to do for money because I knew I didn't want to work. I'm just like, I don't want to work. So anyways, I'm listening to this shit, and things are dark, and I think I just needed magic in my life. And something about the way that Bitcoin Bill told me this story, I was just like, first of all, this guy is fucking batshit crazy. Second of all, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. Next thing he tells me, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, I buy on leverage. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, yeah, I borrow money. I'm like, oh, what's your interest payment? He's like, 30%. I'm like, 30%? I just thought this dude was going to be bankrupt in like a week. But I keep hanging out with him, and he keeps talking more and more and more about Bitcoin, and I'm watching this thing go from 11,000 to 13,000 to 16,000 to like 18,000. And I start just getting like the FOMO. I start getting the twitch, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it. What if this kid's right, Let me do this. I barely knew anything about Bitcoin. I just knew that Bitcoin Bill was just like fucking talking shit in my ear. So basically, I get up, I buy a Bitcoin. I just buy one. I mean, responsible human, and just buy one. That's responsible. So I buy one fucking Bitcoin, and lo and behold, I can't sleep that night. I'm just thinking in my head. I'm thinking, because I've already started stock picking, and that I had doubled my money with stock picking. So I'm just thinking, shit. I mean, I don't want to sit here for 10 years chasing double once every 3 years. Like, I can't do that. I don't have time for that because I don't want to work. So I'm like, let me just buy another one. So I just bought like another one. And then now I started getting the fever. I started getting like twitchy. Next thing I know, emptying out my IRAs. I sold all my stocks. I took penalties on my IRAs. I sold my business. I fucking refied my condo. I sold my car. I fucking took leverage. I did everything that Bitcoin Bill did. And, right around mid-January, actually, you'd be surprised, right around mid-January is when I started to actually learn about about Bitcoin after I'd done my entire fortune in, because they kept chopping at 30. Like it was 28, 32, 20, like kind of like it is now, only in the 30s. And my buy-in was somewhere around 30, probably my average buy-in price, somewhere in 20, whatever. And I needed this thing to go up. I'm hyperventilating because it's just I'm like, Tony, like it's going up and down. I remember one time I hit up Bitcoin Bill and I'm like, yo man, what's going on with the coin? And he literally sent me a picture of a lobster and he's like, dude, I'm having lobster with a chick. Just chill, man, enjoy your life. And I remember just looking at it, just being like, what a fucking legend, you know. And then I went to bed that night, so I started listening to all these podcasts, and of course you know the story. Fucking February, MicroStrategies has their seminal conference, their Bitcoin for Corporations conference, and a week later Elon Musk buys. Price soars to 50, 55, hit 60. You know the rest of the story. And I tell you, man, I was scooped up like fucking Frodo and Sam on Mount Doom when that fucker was blowing up and they already trashed the ring. I was scooped up on eagle's wings and I was soaring into the ether, you know what I mean? And who knows, like, who knows how this will end up, but right now I'm in this kind of good place. Why do I tell you this story? Following your gut. Why do I believe in it so much? It's because when you put together all the elements of that story, this hinge date, a fucking global pandemic, this family is my sister, this concert, this random singles event. I mean, I only went to one of these things. And then, like, moving to New York, that singles event, meeting Bitcoin Bill, him talking me into fucking Bitcoin, all these different factors in my life. And who knows how this will end up? I still don't know. But it's like, how are you going to truly calculate your life out? Look, you do the best you can. You know what I mean? You try to make good decisions. But there is, in some ways, there is an irrational aspect to acting rational. You know, you hear about it all the time. Living by faith, living by a higher perspective. But there is an irrational aspect to acting rational. Because the number of factors that you're trying to account for, you just can't see. You know, it's like, does the one thread in the tapestry know that it's part of this giant? Does it even know how big the tapestry is? You know what I'm saying? And I can say too that where do I go from here? I think the focus has always been on this step-by-step progression of your life, and you have to make good decisions. You need to research and make the best decision possible, but don't forget about your gut. You know, that's kind of the main thing. I'll say too that sometimes, I'll just end with this kind of story, but sometimes following your gut can go really wrong. And here's what I mean by that. So I remember when I was younger, I was just super fucking angry. Like, I was just an angry kid. And I was very scared and I was very withdrawn. I still have a lot of these emotions, but I've kind of rendered them and I've kind of brought them out into the light. But I went through this process where I thought, my gut was telling me, if I just express my anger, my true anger, somehow I'll find catharsis at the end, some kind of healing at the end. And, you know, like, long story short, that didn't work out so well. Like, I remember my nephew had this, I think he was playing basketball or something. He's like 10. And I was there to watch the game. The whole family was there. And I remember I was like, I'm just going to take a nap because, you know, fuck him or so. I don't know what I was, whatever. I don't know what I was thinking. And, you know, I was being such a miserable, like, cunt I was visiting my family and I was being a miserable asshole. And me, like, trying to sleep on my nephew's head playing this game was probably the last straw for her, and she You know, she just took me aside and just fucking, like, my sister, I'm telling you, she is a like a third degree black belt in bitching people out, like many women are, actually. She fucking tore me a new asshole. And it was at that moment I kind of snapped out. I was like, okay, this switch that I have, I need to find some other way of dealing with it. So that's where following your gut, like, it's kind of an art form. Like, that, I realized that was wrong, but, even, like, that was a growing moment. So, just to say, when you're following your gut, when you're trying to, like, most of your life, you should act rationally, okay? I'm not saying you should go jump off a cliff, because that's what, you're feeling it. But I think if you turn up that voice inside, that emotional voice, that intuitive voice that doesn't have an explanation for why it wants you to do certain things, if you can turn that up a little bit and work with it, you'll have a more adventurous life. You may have some bad things happen to you, but it's really hard to see the entire picture. Like, hey, a pandemic was bad. Being lonely was bad. Being in a fight with my sister was bad. All these, it was such a weaving path to get me to where I am, to this place where I feel good at the moment. I don't know how this will end up. Maybe I'll buy like 4 kilos of Coke and like OD and die, because I got all those Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know. But it's like, I just feel like because you can't see the picture, turn up the voice a little bit that's intuitive and maybe against better judgment. You know what I mean? Take a chance. So, guys, that's all I got. That's my main thing. If there's one reason why you're here, I think it's because I'm this crazy guy who took this big chance that probably most people are afraid to do. And I'm going to talk about, this is what the process was. So, anyways, man, that's pretty much it. I'm glad you came. Okay, so I'll answer some questions. Yeah, I was working in insurance for about 12 years. I really built that business. It was a great thing at the time. Honestly, like, it helped me grow. It gave me a good financial base. I was probably making like, 120 to 200,000 a year doing this job, and it wasn't that hard a job per se. You just had to kind of work at it. And I formed a great relationship with my manager, Chris. Chris is a fucking legend. He's such a great guy. He's taught me so much. He's the kind of guy, he'll yell at you, but he's not like a dick about it. He's kind of like, what are you doing? He's like, yeah, but if you say that, they're gonna think this. What are you doing? Like, yeah, he's been really instrumental. So yeah, I did that for about 12 years, and I finally quit in February, and that was I felt like I was stepping off a cliff, man. I didn't know where I was gonna land. It was the wrong move. You know what I mean? It was the wrong move to quit my job and to sell that shit. But it was the right move for me. I mean, I don't regret it, let me put it that way. Dude, you're 24? Oh my god. CCCCC Crispy. Oh, Crispy. What's up, man? That's funny. One of my friends loves the word crisp, and he just does this all the time. It was crisp. You're 24. Okay, Crispy, I don't know what your situation is, brother, but trust me, whatever you do, you're gonna bounce. I'm 43. If I zero out my finances, I think that's it. I think that's game over. I think I'm just poor the rest of my days. You're 24. You're making 80K? Bro, you know how much I was making at 24? I think I was making like $22,000 working at some restaurant. Okay? So, Crispy, I think you have extra permission to follow whatever that thing is, because sometimes you don't know what the next step is until you take that first step. Okay, am I telling you to quit your job? No, I'm just saying you could quit your job, and you're 24. You'll be fine. Okay, you'll be fine. Yeah. Well, Keith, what you're saying, yeah, rational is often. I mean, like, sometimes you're talking yourself out of things, and it's almost like if I go out in my shield following my gut, I can kind of live with that. But if I go down because I followed some weird plan that someone else, by playing it safe, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, what if I didn't? One of my favorite quotes is Bartoli. Oh, thanks, dude. One of my favorite quotes is 20 years from now, you regret more the things that you didn't do rather than the things that you did do. You know what I mean? 20 years from now, you're going to regret more the things you didn't do rather than the things that you did do. Do you really want to go out like that? Do you want to go to your grave just wondering if you had done this one thing? I don't want to go out like that, dude. I do not want to fucking go out like that. Like, no one's going to give you an award for being good. You know what I mean? No one's going to, like, no one's going to be at your grave going, oh, well, he played it safe. All those people that are trying to, like, or what? This is probably just imaginary people. All these people that are saying you should live a good life and do X, Y, and Z, they're not going to be at your fucking funeral. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be there fucking, making your life happy or clapping for you. And none of those fuckers will be there. Wow. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think especially if you're young doing Ethereum, personally, I think that's a great idea because the horizon on Ethereum is a bit longer, and it's a little more speculative of an investment. But I'm pretty bullish on ETH, dude. I'm not gonna lie, I'm bullish on ETH. If you follow the news, dude, it is like ETH is scary. I'm gonna be honest, dude. ETH is gonna change the world. I'm pretty sure. Probably sometime October, November, December, when we think the top of the bull run is. That's probably where I'll have a strategy to short Bitcoin at that point. So I may not sell. I think I might. There's a few strategies we have to avoid the capital gains that are completely legal. But yeah, we might short it and then try to work it that way. So, yeah, home slices. So, anyways, hope you enjoy this. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube. You can go back and rewatch it and memorize it. But have a great weekend, and we'll do more of these talks later. Yo, Coin Check Daily. yeah, we'll talk more about it. 1 million, bro. What won't I buy? What fucking won't I buy? Are you kidding me? You'll hate me. I'll be a disgusting asshole if Bitcoin's. I'll be a total douchebag and be like, oh, I'm amazing. But all right, love you guys. This channel's giving me so much, and yeah, let me know how I can help you. So, all right, peace, guys. Da, da, da.